Welcome to a Cosmic Energy Update with multidimensional energy specialist Raquel Spencer.
Well, hello everyone. It's Raquel, and we have entered into a beautiful time that's actually going to pretty much take us into the next year. We went into a Venus retrograde in the last 36 hours that is going to last 40 days and 40 nights, which I always kind of giggle at. Makes me think of wandering the desert for 40 days and 40 nights searching. And that's pretty much what is the feel of this next 40 days, because it is a Venus retrograde in Scorpio. And it is a culmination of an 8-year cycle that has the opportunity to really shift into the next level of personal mastery in our relationships. And most people think about relationships of their love relationships or their family relationships. And the truth of the matter is all of that is true, but this is really about stepping into mastery with the relationship with yourself and how connecting in with your higher self and source energy, balancing out the polarities that continue to come to surface at this particular time. And you can't be alive, especially if you're in the Northern Hemisphere and in the US, without seeing example after example after example of the duality, the polarity, the, again, what is the word? The distortion in the masculine, feminine energies on the planet, and how over the last year or more, those frequencies, that idea, that understanding, that awareness of the distortions coming really into the forefront of the media once again. If we think back about a year, maybe even further, the Me Too movement that has started, and of course now all the things that are in the news. And I don't even want to say the name because it just brings up too much energy. But there is a lot playing out in the outer world that is really bringing this issue, this distortion in the frequencies, this imbalance to the forefront of our awareness. And so it's just interesting how it's all playing out, this culmination of 8 years of this cycle of Venus in retrograde. And so I invite you to think about what has transpired in your life over the last 8 years. Where are you still noticing in your own experience? Forget the outer world dramas that are going on, but your own experience. Where are you still out of balance? Where are you still noticing those experiences that are there to help you expand, learn, and grow and step into a new level of mastery? The next 40 days and 40 nights, you have to say it like that, are really an extraordinary opportunity to be very conscious and very real with yourself about where in your own personal experience you're still out of balance. And of course, whenever we talk about mastery, whenever we talk about really evolving, it's always a personal journey. It's always about the deep work within. And it's about coming into balance yourself. And as the theme has been forever and ever and ever since I started this work, it's about self-love. It's about balancing within yourself those frequencies, that experience and expression of the imbalance when you are not connected to your higher self, when you are not in flow with the divine. And many, many people are still looking for that perfect partner or that person who's going to fulfill their life. And you know what? Those people are there, but they only truly show up when you're in balance, when you're doing that for yourself, because they are a reflection of what is going on with you. And so it's really important as we step into this beautiful retrograde of Venus and Scorpio and dive deep into looking at ourselves. Where do we still feel that we're unfulfilled? Where do we still feel like there is not a balance in how we are managing, expressing, and living our lives? Are we too action-oriented and not enough being? Are we too aggressive or are we too passive? There has to be balance in all things to really bring that mastery into a expression that allows us to feel totally balanced. And will we ever feel totally balanced? Maybe that's not the correct expression, but where we feel we are stepping in mastery, where we don't get rocked off our center for more than a few minutes or hopefully even a few seconds when situations, people come in to reflect what is going on in our inner world. Because the outer world is always a reflection. And that is so hard to truly own when we're in the midst of crisis or shifts or changes, to really know that the outer world that is playing out is a reflection of what's going on in the inner. And when we can really look at those players, those people, situations, and things that show up that are perceived in the moment as really chaotic or emotional or hurtful or whatever label you want to put on it. When we can step into that situation and recognize that it's a beautiful opportunity to master that which is echoing in our experience to help us see what inside still needs to be balanced. And so as we move into this 40 days and 40 nights, which goes all the way to November 16th. And then once we hit November 16th, it's going to take about 30 more days for Venus to come back to this moment, to this point in the cosmos. So this expression, this whole theme is really taking us all the way into the middle of December. And so it's really a beautiful opportunity when we're aware, when we are willing to acknowledge what the cosmos is bringing forward to help us upshift, help us balance, help us get that yin and yang, masculine, feminine, electric and magnetic energies balanced within ourselves so that we can upshift into the next octave of mastery. And that's really the theme, taking us all the way through almost the end of the year. And I find it quite fascinating that this retrograde is still happening as we anchor in the 11-11-11 gateway and the cosmic heart grid that is anchoring on the planet at that time. It moves all the way through that particular point in our linear time frame. And so this is really big when we talk about opening the heart, connecting into the cosmic heart. What we have to be balanced to really hold the cosmic heart energy, because it's an octave, it's a vibration, it's a frequency. It comes in from a dimensional state that is unable to sustain when we are imbalanced in the terms that we talk about, masculine and feminine. And I'm really loving the terminology of the electric and the magnetic, because it takes a lot of the stigma of the words out of the equation. When we can just talk about it as energy, the electric body and the magnetic body, the electric energies and the magnetic energies, then we can move beyond the words and the stigma and the definitions we've put on the words masculine and feminine, because we know it still holds a charge. It holds a charge across the planet. And so when we step back and really get into the fact that it is energy, it is a frequency, then we can approach it from a neutralized state. And it becomes, quite frankly, for me, much easier to understand the mechanics of what we're trying to do, because everything is energy. And our systems, when they come into balance, when we think about the energetics, that's what we're really doing. We're bringing those energies and those frequencies into balance. And so I hope that helps you to understand, or maybe approach this beautiful opportunity as we move through this next phase, this next 40 days and 40 nights, that it is the energetics, it is the frequency that we are balancing. Moving away from the semantics that humanity has put on, and on all the connotations that go with that. Get back to the basics. It's all frequency. And how do we balance that frequency within our matrix? This is the goal. This is the opportunity for the next 40 days and 40 nights as we move through this beautiful cosmic orchestra that is providing the opportunity to complete this 8-year cycle and really move into a completely different octave, a different frequency band of light.